Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. Today, I've got a special guest with me, Dr. Madiha, and we will be talking about a few things. But before we do that, I would like Dr. Madiha to introduce herself to let you know who she is. And for the people who don't know about you, Dr. Madiha, can you please introduce yourself to the audience? Thank you.
Hello, thank you, Shoaib, for having me. I'm a physician based in US, and I'm an ex-Muslim, and I'm an atheist slash agnostic, and yeah, I have my YouTube channel, Madiha Talks. That's my hobby, but I'm a physician.
Okay, thank you very much for introducing yourself. Yes, you do have a YouTube channel, which I will leave the link in the description below for people if they want to follow you, if they want to see what it is that you talk about. So, there is one question before I do this. There's one question a lot of people have always asked me that, because I say I am a Muslim, I might not be the best Muslim because according to the Muslims, I'm not a Muslim, but according to me, I am. But everybody have always asked me, what do you think? Can a Muslim and someone who's not a Muslim, can they be friends? Obviously, with everything that we are seeing, but majority of the people will say a Muslim cannot be friend with an ex-Muslim or an atheist. So what do you think about that? Obviously, we've known each other for, I would say, almost coming up to 1 year now, and we've spoken many times. We exchange ideas. I come on your live quite a few times. You've been on my live as well. So what do you think? What is the kind of feeling that you get when you're talking to me? Like as a Muslim and you being an ex-Muslim, what do you think?
Well, I became an ex-Muslim in 2018, so a lot has changed since. A lot of my previous friends, they don't talk to me anymore. A lot of friends and relatives left me, but I still have some Muslim friends who still talk to me, and they don't care what my beliefs are or how they have changed. So it really depends how tolerant you are, how rational you are, and I found you very rational, and I similarly I have many rational Muslim friends. The only way to be friends with a Muslim is if you avoid the topic of religion. So if I don't talk about religion or anything controversial or what Muslims are doing, then the friendship can continue. The minute you bring up the topic of religion, it becomes quite shaky. So that's why I avoid the topic of religion, then friendship can last.
Yeah, I think you're right, but again, I don't know if you know this, but obviously me, I have been to Nuria's channel, who's an ex-Muslim as well, and with Nuria, we have open conversation. It wasn't a debate; it was a conversation. And I think with you as well, whenever I've been on your channel and you were talking about Islam or the religion, I never see a problem with that. See, and I think that is the thing that a lot of majority of the Muslims they hate that because every time I've been asked about, okay, so what if someone who's not a Muslim says something about Islam, says something about the Islamic religion, what do you feel? And I said, I don't feel anything. And the reason why I said this is because I'm sure you know this, a lot of people watching, they know this as well. You see a lot of Muslims criticizing every other religion. They sit there, like I'm in the UK, and for me, I always believe UK is and will always will be a Christian country. And UK being a Christian country, you will see Muslims criticizing the religion, which is Christianity, and they always come out and they said, "Oh, Christianity is wrong. Uh, this is wrong with Christianity. This, that, and the other." They try to take bad things out of Christianity, and they try to somehow say, "Look, Christianity is wrong, but you should come and join us and become Muslim." That's what they do. But for me, I wouldn't have mind them doing this as long as they were okay for the Christians or the Jews or the Hindus to turn around and say the same thing to the Muslims. But unfortunately, in the UK, what we are seeing right now, I don't know about America. Obviously, you can tell me about America, but in the UK right now, what is going on? If the moment you start criticizing Islam, the religion of Islam, they have come out with this new term, which is Islamophobia. And they always say, oh, this is Islamophobic. I don't know how it is Islamophobic. I don't believe in Islamophobia. Like I said, I've been here for 10 years. I'm an immigrant. I'm a Pakistani immigrant in the UK. I never have had any issues. The reason why I have never had any issues with people like you, Dr. Madiha, or like Nuria, or anybody who calls himself an ex-Muslim or a Christian or a Jew, because I never go anywhere and present myself as a Muslim. So if I'm meeting up with you, I am meeting up with you as a human being, as Shoaib, and I expect you to be the same. Like I don't mind people saying, "Oh, I come from this religion, I come from that religion." but I think it's irrelevant unless you're going to a talk where you need to talk about religion. I find it very irrelevant when people sit there and say, "Oh, you know what? I'm a religious person. This is I'm a Muslim, and this and that. Everything have to be according to me." There are things that you can avoid, like in Islam they will say you're not allowed to do this, you're not allowed to do that. Then don't go to these places. Do not turn up to a country which is a Christian country and demand a change. I don't know. Do you see the same in America? Do you think the Pakistanis or the Muslim community are doing the same in America? Do you see these things?
So, what I see about religion, I am not against people having their beliefs. I totally respect if someone would like to have believe in anything. You can believe in wind, water, or like wall. I don't care. That's not my problem. The problem arises when people start rubbing their religion all over your face or start telling you, well, this is how you should be living your life. And I live in USA. I've been here for more than 20 years, and nobody ever brought up the topic of religion, or nobody cares. Nobody asks you what's your religion unless you tell them. The problem with Muslim community is they like to rub their religion all over your face. They like to say the words like Alhamdulillah, Mashallah, or Alhamdulillah, I'm a Muslim, or in Islam, this is what you do. Or, they'll tell you one way or the other that they're somehow superior. There is some lot of religious narcissism. There is a lot of, there is lack of introspection, accountability. Uh, Islam hasn't evolved. It's still a very raw religion, like what it was presented in 7th century. As of today, it is just like that, and there has no modifications or any evolvement. There is no evolution in Islam. There are no changes according to the modern time. It is very regressive. Times have changed, and the conversations to make religion, to modernize the religion, were stopped because of blasphemy laws. So the blasphemy laws, they are the conversation stopper. You can't even object anything. And then the response from community is very hostile. The minute somebody raises a doubt about Islam, the whole community comes after you. They either start humiliating you or gaslight you or ridicule you, then they abandon you, or they can come for your life. So these are the 3 or 4 responses, and this is pretty generic throughout the world. Wherever Muslim communities, this is how they're going to behave. They don't behave as like with hostility or with as aggression as you see in United Kingdom, in America, because the percentage of Muslims is still like 2%.
Okay.
In United Kingdom, they have become more brazen and more kind of bold about it, because their percentage is 15 to 17%, and they kind of have infiltrated the system. They are in the power positions. They're like politicians, they're lawmakers, they're in police. So all of these institutions, and so it and then now they are taking over, and they're openly saying it, that we're here to take over, we're here to implement Sharia laws, and that's why they are more brazen in UK, and you feel it. You feel the threat of Islam there, and you're that's the reason.
Yeah, I think you're right, because there is one thing that I've noticed in the UK now. Because as you just said, if you try to criticize Islam or the religion, even the Muslims, if they're doing something, one of the things that I have noticed very recently is they will go out and somehow now they've realized the more they rub in people's faces that we are Muslims, the more annoyed people are getting, and that is what is that I wanted to talk to you about today, because I wanted to see what it is that's going on in America and give you a perspective from the UK side as well, because in UK in the last 20 years we haven't seen any attacks on the Muslims. Like, when I say attack, I mean real attacks. You get videos from these Muslims, fake videos where they said, "Oh, somebody have called me this, somebody have said that I'm a Muslim," but there is never any evidence. There is absolutely nothing happened to it. So I believe, in my opinion, I always think that these people make these fake videos where they will go to a halal section and they will put a pork there, and they'll say, "Oh, these people have put pork there." I have never seen, every single time I've been to any shop, in my life in the UK, I have never ever seen a pork in a halal section or other way. I haven't seen this, so I know they lie about a lot of things. And I think there's another problem that the Muslim community have these days. They will openly lie about things because they will be like, oh yeah, you know what, we can lie. In our eyes, God will forgive us because we're doing for a good cause, for the future good cause. And which I think it is. This is wrong. You should never ever be allowed to lie. You should never ever be allowed to manipulate, which they do. They manipulate a lot of people. They try to convert them. They try to brainwash them. So when October the 7th happened a couple of days ago, what it was that you have seen a lot of Muslims come out talking about free Palestine and all these things. But if you look at the same marches today in 2025, a lot of the people that I've seen in these pro-Palestinian marches are white woke liberals. So what I believe the Muslims have done, they have brought the white people out, so the white British people out, and they have brainwashed them to a point where these white British people do not understand anything. And like you just said, Madiha, the blasphemy laws, and they said, oh, you know what? Put the blasphemy laws there. So if anybody, like, let's say, if you start asking me a question about my religion, and I start saying, oh, you're Islamophobic, you're a racist, that's the conversation stopper. You cannot argue with me, you cannot debate with me, you cannot present your facts to me because I've just called you a racist, a Nazi, and that's it. And that's what these Muslims have done by teaching these white woke liberals, telling them, you know what, every time you see somebody question you, why you're here for free Palestine, what do you understand? Because a lot of them have never left the country. They don't even know what is actually going on. Who are these Palestinian people? Who are these Arab people? They don't understand the conflict. So so I think the thing that I really wanted to talk about today was in regards to what has happened on the 2nd of October in Manchester, in UK, where a Syrian Muslim guy who was given a British nationality, so he called himself, well, he's a British national. He came here with his father and given the British nationality. He was not born here, but he was given a British nationality, and he attacked and killed innocent people outside a synagogue, which me as a Muslim, I thought that was the worst thing that has ever happened, because I believe if me as a Muslim in a Christian country have the freedom to practice my religion, surely the Jews should have exactly the same right. Whatever, they should be allowed to practice their religion. And I think that was a religious day when they were going to their synagogue for prayers and everything. And this guy just turned up and he killed them. Innocent lives lost. Why? Because something is going on so far away from us that we don't even know. And then I've seen videos of Muslims, the TikTokers, the YouTubers, coming out and, like what they always do, talk about victimhood. Oh my God, it's us. This. So these innocent people in Manchester got killed because something was going on in Gaza and Israel. Like it doesn't really make sense, because if they want to talk about these kind of things, there are Muslim terrorists who go out and who are doing things, who are doing things out in the Middle East, in different countries. Doesn't mean that they will start killing us, saying that, oh, we have to kill you because what is going on there. It's irrelevant. It's got nothing to do with me. The same way it had nothing to do with the Jews, the innocent Jews that were killed. And if you look at now, after that, we have seen another video come out a couple of days after this incident, where a mosque has been burned. And it was so, and I think, for me, like I said, it's just my opinion. I believe that is somebody who's involved inside, because like I said, I know the Muslims, they love to play the victim mode. Oh my God, anything happens, they're the victims. Even tsunami comes, they kill the people in Asia, it will be the Muslim again. They will somehow find a reason to become the victims. That's what they do. So it was very convenient to see that video that I will play in a minute. So you see that video, there are two people who are trying to burn the outside of the mosque, and the camera is just right there. So I have never known anybody who's gone there, who's seen a camera right in front of them and trying to burn the mosque. The first thing they do, they either hit the camera, they do something about it. They don't just go and they can see their face in the camera. And people will say it was a hidden camera. I don't really think so. These days, the churches, the mosques, a lot of houses, everybody got cameras in the UK. There are street cameras, there are CCTVs, there are everything. So I believe, because of what was going on, what has happened outside synagogue, the Muslim community have decided, okay, you know what we're going to do? We are going to play a victim. But how do you play a victim when somebody who was a Muslim Syrian who have killed innocent people? What do you do? So they've done this. In 20 years, I have never ever seen any attacks towards the Muslim mosque or the madrasas. I have not seen it. So even if people do think, okay, you know what, yes, it is somebody who's not a Muslim, they've committed this crime, you need to see for 20 years, the British people, the British white people have sat back and been so tolerant to the Muslim community. Where I'll play you this video now. Just have a look at this video. I don't know if you've seen this or not, but I'm going to play you this video and listen to what these people are actually saying. And this was on the streets of London a couple of months ago.
The daughters and showed the support for Palestine. Shut them out, the daughters. If you have to send a message like that.
So see, did you hear what they said? They were like, okay, let me play it again. Let me see if you can hear it.
All of us, the mothers, the daughters, and showed the support for Palestine. Shut them out.
So they basically were there and they were saying F their daughters, F their mothers for Palestine. And this, like I said, this happened a couple of months ago. So see, this is what these people do. And then they're like, oh, why does people hate us? Like, I don't understand. And you can see they had the flags of Palestine flags on their car. They're waving it, and they're literally shouting out, saying that, oh, F their daughters, F their mothers. Like, what kind of people are these? And they do all these things. Then you got this idiot, what's his name, Muhammad Hijab. He does the same thing. He sits there and he does his hateful preaching, and he says, oh, you know what, you need to be ready for a fight. You need to do this. So, like I said, the white British people have sat back and they have literally been very, very tolerant. And I don't blame them if they've actually done this. I don't blame them because it's the Muslim community that have pushed everybody. Like, even I'm a Muslim and I see these pro-Palestinian lunatics, these idiots outside, I hate them. I don't want nothing to do with them. If anything, I don't think they are ever peaceful. Whenever they're marching, they're never peaceful. They're very hostile. They always want to say things like calling people Nazis and racists just because they don't agree with them. Do you see the same kind of thing in America? Have you ever seen a pro-Pali protest? Have you been to it, or have you seen it in America? Have you seen any of these?
So I have not been to any of these pro-Palestine protests. Thankfully, I have been very conscious and wise. But I do know that pro-Palestine movement is a facade, and it has nothing to do with Palestine or Palestinian people. It's more like an anti-Western movement. And as the time's passing, it's becoming more and more clear because there is a peace deal which has been, signed by both parties, and there is no point of having these marches anymore. Even after this unfortunate incident at the Manchester Synagogue, where two Jews were, stabbed to death, and after that, Muslims held another rally, pro-Palestine march. There was no need for that, and now on October 7th, they're having another march to honor our martyrs? Question mark on October 7th, when the martyrs were actually Jews. Another point which you raised, that these are anti-Zionism. They claim that they're anti-Zionist. They're not against Jews, but anti-Zionism is basically you put these labels to dehumanize somebody, and once they've been dehumanized, then you can go after anybody. These two innocent people who were going to the synagogue, they had nothing to do with the Gaza or whatever is happening in Gaza, but they were, they were attacked, they were targeted because they were Jews. So this can tell you that it's not against it's not anti-Zionism. It's basically they're anti-Jews, and this is what we are seeing. What happened in World War II in Germany. So history is kind of repeating itself, and this time it's the liberal idiots of the West, which are wokes and who have suicidal empathy, and they've been brainwashed. A lot of these people didn't have any reason or any cause in their life, and they somehow found this cause, and they think they're being humanitarian, but they don't know they are part of a very vile, sinister movement, which is basically here to destroy them. These people are actually in a self-destructive mode, the Western liberals.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I don't see why they are still holding these protests when there is a peace deal. Isn't that what they all wanted? So why they're still going on after? And I have seen after the peace deal, they have become more violent. There were some videos from Barcelona where they were destroying shops. Then in Australia, they're calling for civil disobedience. They're not going to follow rule-based laws. Then they are in a lot of American universities which are funded by Qatar. They are holding protests on October 7th. Why are these protests being held now when there is a peace deal already? So you can tell these people are becoming more violent, more aggressive, and their intentions are becoming clear with every day. And I don't understand why people can't see through it.
Yeah, no, I think you're absolutely right. So I'll play a video of a guy that I've seen on YouTube. Like he's some famous Muslim guy from the UK, and he talks about the fire. So I'll just show you that a little bit. I'll play that video for you now.
And before you start with your conspiracies that this is some sort of a self-sabotage to gain sympathy, watch this. I'm not going to play the rest of the video, but basically it shows the place going up in flames. You know, there was actually 2 people in the building at the time. So whether this gets treated as an attempted murder or even terrorism, only time will tell. We see these church burning videos as well these days online. It's always a church up in flames in some random place, or even in the UK. And there's a caption on it, Islamists have done this. But the thing is, there's never ever any evidence that it's actually been done by Muslims, but people run with that story. And the funny thing is, some of you guys are going to be low-key celebrating, in fact, openly celebrating. I guarantee there'll be people in the comments laughing. What's the chances that these guys were radicalized by these online extremists or individuals that managed to gather 70 million people to march through London chanting anti-Islam slogans? My advice to brothers that live in those regions, stay vigilant, man. There's a lot of these muppets about.
So see, I'll tell you what, with this now, there are a few things that he's talking about now, which I disagree with. One of them, when he is talking about that, there have never ever been any Muslims who have done anything to the churches, and that there are numerous videos that I've seen where Muslims have gone inside the church and disrespected it. And so a lot of them were illegal fake asylum seekers, criminals who goes into these churches, and in their own language they're doing TikToks and they're making fun of things. They're swearing at the priest because the priest doesn't understand what they are saying. And and when he's talking about how you've never seen any Muslims done any attacks on the church, what about the Muslims who, well, not the Muslim but the guy who was a Muslim who attacked Manchester Arena bombing? He's done that. There have been numerous attacks on underground, on the buses, which they have known that they were Muslim people who have done it. So many times they found out that they were Muslims who have conspired. They have conspiracies where they wanted to blow up something. They want to do this. So, I don't know how these people can sit there and talk about, oh, this will be, people will be laughing. And where he says that, oh, people will be laughing under my video saying that, oh, we love what has happened. Do you know how many times I've actually seen Muslims after October the 7th? Not only that, when in America, there were a lot of fires in Las Vegas, I think it was. And I could see the Muslims were actually celebrating, oh, this is the curse from God for what you've done. These people openly celebrate, but they want to play the victimhood. Every single time something goes wrong, they want to play the victim. And this guy has done that. Literally, he's done that by lying to people. And this is what they're doing these days. They're lying openly because they're like, oh, yeah, we can lie and we can make up a story and people will listen. And unfortunately, there were more than 3,000 people who actually agreed to him, who have lied to you, said, oh, you know what? Yes, you're right. It's us. We are the victims. Like I said, I'm a Muslim and I refuse to be a victim. I call it out as it is. And I know he's lying. He's a liar. And which I believe, again, in my opinion, I do not think that whoever done this, the mosque thing, it's an outsider. And look what he's done at the end of the video. He's put in, there were 70,000 people in London on the 13th, which is Tommy Robinson rally. I was there, right? I, as a brown person, was there. I never have had any issues with anybody. Everybody showed me a lot of love. It was a very good day, and there was no hate. And for them to now, somehow he turned that into this, and then from there he's gone from victimhood. He's gone to major victimhood by calling Tommy Robinson a racist. There was Nuria Khan, she was on the stage. She did her speech. How racist was these people? They let her come on stage and actually do a full-on speech. Like, I don't get it. But what do you think?
Yeah, I think desecrating other people's holy places is part and parcel of Islam. Prophet himself did that when he, conquered Mecca. He went inside the Kaaba and destroyed the idols. And Muslims idolize that. They think it is their religious duty to do that. When Taliban, when TLP took over Swat, Taliban came to Swat. They destroyed a lot of Buddhist, statues. When Taliban took over Afghanistan, there were part of Afghanistan where they had huge Buddha, statues, and they were destroyed. Muslims desecrate in Christian churches in Pakistan. Right now, there is a genocide going on in Nigeria where Christians are being hunted down and then the churches are destroyed and everything, the worship places. There are incidents of arson in churches in Canada and in UK. It hasn't started in United States yet because the laws are different here. People have guns, and Muslims don't have that kind of majority. The Muslims live in a perpetual victimhood mindset. They never take responsibility. There is no concept of taking accountability. If you ask any Muslim, what's happening in Gaza, they'll blame their, it started in 1948 and we didn't do and da 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 da. And then if you ask them like, why are you immigrating to United States and all these Western countries when you don't agree with their laws and you don't want to integrate or assimilate, or when you hate them literally because they are infidels, and then they say, well, we have been captured and we have been invaded before, and then the war in Afghanistan and war in Iraq and this and that and colonialism, and they forget about the all the colonizations that Muslims did. They literally invaded Middle East, turned all these countries into Muslim countries, through invasion and colonization. So they forget about that, but they only remember the part in which they are victims. Throughout the histories, humans have invaded other countries and they have colonized. That's how humans have done. But somehow Muslims don't remember the part when they invaded and colonized. So right now they could have, lived peacefully among other religions and cultures, like other cultures do. Like Hindus come and they don't do all this. Chinese come. Other faiths and people from all faiths and cultures come and assimilate in Western societies. Nobody is like such a troublemaker as Muslims are. And for some reason, Muslims in UK are very radicalized. Maybe they are like that in America as well, because I see videos popping up here and there where they talk about colonization, building their own sanctuary towns and enclaves where their non-Muslims wouldn't be allowed, or they make the HOA so high, or they'll make the homeowners to pay for the mosque, so non-Muslims won't even come because they have nothing to look forward to. So I have seen such kind of videos, and these are very worrisome. But I think situation in UK is out of hand, and these people, they don't deserve any sympathy the way they have been behaving. They are openly hating on infidels like Christians and Jews, and with the pro-Palestine movement, it just gave them a voice and a reason to come openly to hate on West, and they don't want to stop. They didn't want this war to stop. They never asked for Hamas to release the hostages. They never condemned October 7th. And it didn't seem like these people were sincere with Palestinians. They didn't want the war to end. If they were so sincere, they would have asked them, the Hamas, pressure Hamas to stop the war and release the hostages and come, come on the table and talk about it. But they never did that. All their slogans were globalize the Intifada, revolution, and all these hateful slogans which nobody can understand. They have radicalized the youth in America, all these college students, very worrisome, because we see a cultural shift. It's terrible, and I don't know how it's going to stop, where it's going to end. Hopefully, the government in America and all these Western countries starts to wake up and do something about it. One more thing I would like to add, that Islam is not a religion. It should be taken out of the section of religion, should be put in a political ideology. That's how you deal with it. You do not extend similar secular values to Islam. as you extend to other religions, other faiths, because it's not just a faith. They are openly saying it. They're here to take over, implement Sharia laws. They're, all the sincerities are not with the host countries. They hate them. Their sincerity is just to their faith, and they're for the sake of Allah. And they want to change all these Darul Harb non-Muslim countries into Darul Islam, where Islam is the major religion. So it's basically an open war, but it's yeah.
Yeah, I think when people talk about the Sharia law, I think you're absolutely right, because a lot of people have said, oh, there is no Sharia law, there is no such thing in Sharia law in the West, but there is in the UK. I don't know about America, but in the UK there is, and to see people openly talk about such as law. If somebody, I'm sure you know that in Pakistan they say if you want to get someone killed, all you need to do is put a blasphemy on them by saying that, oh, he said something against the Prophet, and that is one of the things that I don't think a lot of people in the West understand. If somebody were to come out and say he says something against the Prophet Muhammad, and we are going to kill him, people think, oh, they're just saying it. People don't get it. They will actually go around and they will kill those people. And there is this video, and like I said, these people are born in the UK. The one that the videos that I'm playing of these people were actually born in the UK. They've never lived anywhere else. Yes, they go on holidays for like a week, 2 weeks, and that's it. And they think they know different countries just because they've been there on holidays. It doesn't work like that. Unless you have lived in a country which is not the UK, for you to talk about those countries, I understand that. But if you've never lived in those countries yet, you talk about it. So there is this another video, and this is very worrying because this guy have got a huge following. This video has been seen by thousands of people and agreed and liked on by thousands and thousands of people. If you see what it is that this guy is saying, actually, you will know how dangerous this is, and I think you will understand this more than anybody else, because you've been you've been a Pakistani. You know how these things can actually play out. So I'll play the video for you now.
Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. There's too many people that are getting comfortable with saying derogatory things about the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Everyone who tries to slander the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam must know that in the presence of a Muslim, you cannot say this, because you risk getting your tongue ripped out of your mouth. That's what the enemies of your beliefs need to know. That's why you need to be training, you need to be strong. That's why we need unity amongst Muslims. Anyone wants to insult the messenger of Allah, try to insult it in my presence, and I'm ready on the spot for Mortal Kombat. And until every single Muslim adopts this belief and adopts this mindset, the messenger of Allah, they're gonna continue to have confidence in slandering his name. They should have fear in their hearts of mentioning the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam's name. We call ourselves Muslims. Now the Muslim is so weak, everything is forgiveness and turn the other cheek and forgive and forget. Listen to me, cannot go any longer. This is a call to all Muslims to grow some minerals, strengthen your faith, and don't allow anyone to speak negatively upon the Prophet Muhammad.
So see,
the IQ level of this person is definitely below 100, and he's radicalized in he's just like a living zombie who's just chanting the words which he was taught in his madrasa and mosque. One more problem with the West is that they've allowed these mosques and madrasas to flourish without any supervision.
accountability.
And like there is literally a parallel education system going on in the West. They shouldn't have allowed all these madrasas. These are basically Islamic schools. They shouldn't have allowed that. Why do you need an Islamic school when you have why do you need a faith-based school when you have all these government secular schools? So this was the basic problem. They multiculturalism and all that. We know the Islamic mindset. There is intolerance for everybody. Everybody is infidel. Everybody must convert to Islam or be prepared to pay jizya or be prepared to die. This is so simple in 3 words. For a Muslim, for a true believer, these are the only 3 options for anybody who doesn't believe in Islam. And if somebody leaves Islam like myself, then you should be dead. Apostasy is punishable by death in Islam under Sharia law. So all these people, all of us have no hope. We have nowhere to go. If Western civilization, is brought down by Islam and Sharia, we will all be dead. Even you will be dead because you're criticizing Islam. and you're sitting with us and talking to us. So this is the problem. The West didn't understand, and I don't know why they didn't understand, having such strong armies and FBI's and super smart people, why they didn't take it seriously, why they let it happen, get away, why they let them get away with so much. They're openly threatening, sitting in a Western country, about a prophet and his honor and blah blah blah. In Peshawar in Pakistan now, the 295C, the blasphemy laws, are practiced to the point where if there is an allegation on someone about blasphemy, that person is not entitled to even have a lawyer. They issued a warning to lawyers. Nobody should pursue a case for an alleged blasphemy a person who's accused of committing blasphemy. So you can't even have a lawyer. So basically, somebody accuses you of blasphemy, your life is over in Pakistan. You're going to rot in prison cell for the rest of your life, or you be prepared to die on the hands of police, because some people have police themselves have killed them because it's a matter of great honor, and you're basically like you it's a jihad to kill somebody who disrespects the Prophet or Islam, and these
I
people
think before police,
to
you
have
will be. Yeah, no, I'm just saying before police, you'll be killed by the people. There
people.
was a documentary on BBC where there was a student who didn't say anything bad about religion. He just criticized what was going on in his own madrasa, and they called him that, oh, he did this. They shot him. They chuck him off the building, and then they were dragging his. But they were all Muslim. They killed him in the name of religion. So yes, you're absolutely right. Yeah.
It's not just like an ordinary person who gets accused of blasphemy. Right now in Pakistan, very famous scholar, engineer Muhammad Ali Mirza, he's in the prison cell. He's rotting in the prison cell because he was accused of blasphemy, and he didn't even commit a blasphemy. All he was saying something, and that quoting somebody else, and then he's accused of blasphemy, and there is no way he can get out of a prison cell in Pakistan in our lifetime, unless they abolish blasphemy laws, which I don't see happening, because it's a form of control, keeping people scared, and so it's a very grave situation. Unfortunately, West didn't learn from all these Islamic countries how the life grim reality is. It's very sad where we have come.
So
It's very
well,
scary.
it is scary. I think more than said, it's very scary, and I don't understand why these people are not waking up in the West, because what we are seeing now is we are seeing more radicalized Islamists, these extremists, these Muslims in the West. Like I would say UK, Europe, we see them a lot. They go out and people like Muhammad Hijab. I will play the last video just before we end, but I would say this: whatever happened with the synagogue, I think unless the majority of Muslims come out, and I don't mean come out do a video. I think they need to come out on the streets now. They need to come out and say, you know what, it's been happening too much. You need to stop this. Unless they're doing this, I honestly don't think it's going to work, because all I see now, it's a rise in hate, a lot of division between communities, between the people, and I feel like when the bad time comes, not only people like me and you will get the will get the boot from the white nationalists, we will also be targeted by the Muslim community. For you being an ex-Muslim, and like you said, for me interacting with you, being your friend, being Nuria's friend, and I said very openly, like, every time me and Nuria has ever had a conversation, she've always said to me, you know what, look, you are my friend, but there are things that I don't agree with, and I know you follow the religion. And I've always said that's absolutely fine. The same way I'll say it to you, even whenever you do criticize Islam, for me, I'm like, I don't care. I honestly, I couldn't care less. If you think that this is what it is, then you should be able to say it. And on my channel, I've always said I've got this freedom of speech. Even if somebody who want to come out and say things to me, oh, you know what, you're lying, the Muslims are so peaceful, I will literally sit them down, I'll speak to them, and I will just show them these videos. Like, I've got numerous videos in my in on X, on YouTube. You can see this every single day: hatred, lies, and hatred, and victimhood. Non-stop victimhood from these people. So yeah, you know what, lastly, I'll play this Mohammed Ijab's video for you. It's a very short video. And then I will come back, have your thoughts on it. I'll say a bit word, and then you'll be off. I know you're very busy, but yeah, we'll just do this last video.
Those areas outside of Epping Forest and this and that. Why are you picking on some people in a hotel and this? What are you doing? Attacking this one at a hotel or trying to get like an organized protest? If you hate immigrants, go to the immigrant areas and show the placards there. Go to Alum Rock, go to Birmingham. I'll see what you're going to do there. Go to Tower Hamlets. I've never seen them in Tower Hamlets. I've never seen them in Harrow Road. I've never seen them in Kilburn. I've never seen them in South London. I've never seen a single flag here in South London. If I'm trying to convert people, if I'm trying to convince people that are not white immigrants to get out and stuff, well, go to the immigrant areas. How comes you're not in the immigrant areas? Come to the immigrant areas. Why don't you, the far right, come to the immigrant areas? Because you know what's going to happen. Wallah, you know what's going to happen. What's going to happen is you'll get battered. That's what's going to happen. Physical. I'm telling you, you go to the immigrant areas, you will get battered. Physical. Yes, you will.
So basically, he's bragging about lawlessness in the immigrant areas, and he's not ashamed of it. He's talking about violence in the immigrant areas. So he basically he's talking like a goon, more like he's not talking like an Islamic scholar, which he likes to call himself. He's like a goon, and it's very yucky to hear him out. And then he's saying, I don't see a single flag of Britain, he means.
Yes. Flag of Britain. Yes.
So he doesn't see, you won't find a single flag in an immigrant areas. That itself is a reason for Britons to be angry and for calling for deportation of all these people. And if you are a normal British citizen who sees someone talking like this and you're calling for their deportation, you're not wrong. You're not far right. You're just like a normal person. So they have overused the term far right to the point where, nobody cares. If you call me far right, I don't care. So, this is just common sense. We see a hostile, aggressive, violent person who's openly threatening regular British citizens. That person should be deported. And I am with Tommy Robinson on that. And the other thing is, for these all illegal immigrants and asylum seekers, if these people, Muslims, were loyal to the British, they would be protesting along with all the British, British citizens. Why are you bringing these people to this country and giving them free housing, free insurance, free everything when we are the ones who are paying for it? So, but they're not. They are with these illegal immigrants who are coming from Muslim countries because they want to have their numbers go up so they can take over more easily, so they can have their demographic shift, or so this shows their loyalties are not with Britain. Their loyalties are with their religion, and this is pathetic. I can't even look at this person's face because I don't like it very much.
No, I think you're right. I agree with you, because see, the thing is that the thing that I've got, I'm an immigrant, right? And if I'm in the UK, I chose to come here legally or illegally. I came here legally through Heathrow Airport, through papers and everything. But if there is somebody coming here illegally because they are running away from war or they're running away from terrible things happening in their own country, the least they could do is to be loyal to the British people, because they are coming to a British country, so they should be loyal to them. And by being loyal to them, and I don't think the British people ask for much. All they ask for, you respect their religion, which is Christianity. You respect their culture, and more than anything, these illegal fake asylum seekers need to stop going around and harassing the kids. Their kids. That's what they do. They're after the kids, the women. That's what these people are doing. And this guy, this is a very recent video of this Mohammed Hijab. What he's talking about the protests happening in Epping. So in Epping, it's a protest leading by women, and it's for the women's safety, the children's safety. So look, he's against that as well. He wants to start a war with these women and children who are out there protesting for their own safety. So what kind of men go out there and say, oh, how dare you protest against protest for the women's safety? He's against it. And this guy, he's in the UK. He lives there freely. He said these things literally. I'm sure you've seen a lot of his other videos where he calls for nothing but hate, nothing but fights. And like you just said, look, he's trying to be he's trying to show his intimidation. Or why don't he come to our area? Why don't he come to the immigrant area? If this is how he is, calling out people and saying, oh, you know what, you guys don't come to our area because you're scared of us. I will never ever blame any British people if they woke up tomorrow and they say, you know what, all you immigrants out. We don't need you here. We don't want, because they're not. I don't see any immigrant. I have not seen one immigrant coming out and calling these people out. I call them out all the time. I call them out on my ex. I do a YouTube video here and there. I try to do as much as I can, but I know I am alone as an immigrant. We've got Nuria, but she's British. You've got Lubna, again. They were all born as they're British and living in the UK. It's just me. So for me, the
I
problem
also feel alone because I don't see anybody else from
Yeah,
United
there is-
States
there
speaking
is a-
about it. I don't know anybody else. I know there are some people in Canada, but I'm not sure anybody in United States. I'm the only one.
you're
And
you're the only one, so be careful. And I'm sure you get death threats. I'm sure you know what happened to Lubna. She
yeah,
had to leave her
the same thing.
hometown
Whatever happened to Lubna has happened to me a couple of years
in
ago,
America.
and I was traumatized. So it is very sad, and I think I'm the only one who's openly
In
speaking
America, yes.
in America.
Well, I would say, keep going. It takes a lot of courage and it is very hard, but keep going because at least you've got the law on your side for now. With us in the UK, we don't even have the law on our side. I'm not sure a lot of people know this, but I was arrested for being a racist to the Muslim community. That case is still ongoing. It's been almost 10 months now, and I need to go and attend my bail very soon in a couple of days. So yeah, we'll just keep everybody updated, see what's going on. And I think the last message. Do you got any last message before we go, Dr. Madiha, before I say my message?
No, I would just say, stay strong. We have to keep, speaking about it, because if we don't, then it's just, I don't know, it's over then for all of us.
I do feel like, and I think you're absolutely right. And I think for me as well, the last thing I would say to everybody watching, go follow Dr. Madiha. I'll put her YouTube channel link in the description below. And for me, with my channel, I've been ill. I haven't been active in the last 2 weeks. I haven't been feeling really well at all. And I think when I say I've been ill, it's a lot to do with the stress, because I've got the threats that I'm getting now recently after attending Tommy Robinson's march and given my interviews there by saying that, oh, these people are now racist. It has not doubled, but actually tripled the death threats I'm getting. I'm getting death threats on my Facebook, on my ex. I get some comments on YouTube as well, but I think YouTube keeps deleting them because they're very vile comments. So I think people need to support each other, like you just said, and go and support each other as much as you can. And please follow, subscribe, and like my channel, and do like this video and comment to let us know if there are anything more that you'd like to ask me. I will definitely have Dr. Madiha on again if there are more people who would like to ask her any questions as an ex-Muslim. So yeah, we will do that. So thank you very much, Dr. Madiha, for doing this, taking the time out of your very, very busy time. I know you're very short on time. So thank you very much, and thank you very much for watching. Hopefully we'll be doing a lot more of these videos very soon. Take care. Bye.
Thank you.